The story of Duke Nukem Forever is a well-covered train wreck. Over a decade of delays, engine changes, creative direction changes, and a whole host of he said, she said. And well, it did eventually make it past the finish line in 2011, even if it felt as though it was dragged kicking and screaming. What we got was, well, it was a game. The fact that Duke Nukem pretty much slipped into obscurity as far as the newer generation of games goes is a testament to the fact that it really didn't live up to expectations. Expectations, a word that can make or break a title in a lot of ways, is something that helps bring context to this video. Duke Nukem Forever had what I would consider to be insane, off the charts hype and expectations. Everyone knows Duke Nukem 3D and the impact it had on the genre. Even if the build engine wasn't exactly high-tech stuff at the time of release when compared to other games like Quake, the emphasis on the macho caricature that is Duke Nukem himself gave the game a life that no one had quite experienced up to that point.
Shake it, baby.
80s and 90s were a time of outrageous action heroes and one-liners that basically defined the cinematic experience for millennials growing up. A time of big personalities, outlandish action, and just dumb fun. We've fallen so far from these simple guidelines that when a film like Top Gun Maverick came out to try and relive that past, it was an absolute blockbuster hit. Like, we need to go back. Anyways, the sequel for Duke Nukem 3D was slated to come out sometime around the turn of the millennium, and back then all we ever had was mags like PC Gamer to keep track of game development. Every time you saw Duke on the cover, the hype around DNF was almost too much to take. Such was the disappointment of fans when the game basically disappeared off the radar and nearly got cancelled. It was basically the death sentence of the original 3D Realms. Now, the major piece of hype most people would remember is the 2001 build that was shown off at E3. To be frank, this looked amazing at the time. Fast forward 20 years and someone leaked this build to the internet and everyone in their 30s scrambled to play it. Man, it was like waking up Christmas morning, except it was in the middle of the night and I had to work in the morning. I looked through literally everything I possibly could on that build and stayed up way too late. Man, what a throwback. What was here was, well, calling it unfinished was an understatement. However, there was a good chunk of what the overall vision of this game was supposed to be, and it actually lined up really closely with what we did get in the 2011 final release. Was it something you could just load up and play through though? Not a chance. I think the claim made by Freddy at the new 3 Realms that this was like 99% finished or whatever was a bit of a stretch, but you know, Freddy's kind of a weirdo, so I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. This presented a great opportunity for willing parties to swoop in and grab the reins here and try to make something of it. Which is exactly what the Duke Nukem Forever restoration project is. Again, I'm going to manage expectations here and say that I have a lot of hope here for this build. However, there's gonna have to be some improv to get this thing across the line. They released their first slice build of the game, which is already taken some liberties when compared to the leak build. Now, I don't want to seem like a purist or something, but I sincerely hope that they don't take this project too far off the rails. Like I mentioned, what was in the leaked build was ultimately very close to what we actually got in the final 2011 product. That said, I also don't think it's necessary to stick to exactly what was in the leaked build, because a lot of the stuff here did kind of seem like a proof of concept or just basic outlines for a map. Like some of the stuff was just empty. They are even bringing in voice actors to try and breathe some life into the character interactions. This is really cool, especially when dudes like Gianni can offer a good Duke Nukem impression. I just hope they stick to more macho meathead humor and don't inject too much of his poo-poo, piss, and cum style humor, which is, you know what, it's funny as a meme, but it's not actually Duke Nukem. Anyways, it's still early days with this mod. I will link the mod DB page in the description and below, and well, you should probably be able to find a link for the original leak at google.com if you're savvy enough. The leak was a bit tricky to get running properly, which is already the main selling point of the restoration project. It's basically just plug and play. Go check it out. I just hope it doesn't get scrubbed from the internet by the powers that be. Thanks for watching. My balls.